Rice, symbol of fertility, prosperity and happiness for most civilizations. As the main source of nutrition for more than half the world's population, rice is one of the most important food crops. Given its significance as a seed internationally, the beginnings of European rice cultivation was a major historical landmark, impacting massively on most people. When and where rice cultivation first appeared is unknown, though archaeological evidence suggests that it goes back 11,000 years. Rice became known in Europe thanks to the naturalists who accompanied Alexander the Great in his campaigns. It found fertile ground in Mediterranean Europe, where it was cultivated, embraced, and became part of its culinary tradition. The systematic cultivation of rice in Greece began in the 1950s, and due to its ever-increasing consumption, it achieved a particularly dynamic presence on the domestic as well as the export market. The uniqueness of its cultivation is related to the judicious use and management of water, since particular ecosystems are created around it. In Greece, the main paddy fields are in northern Greece, in river deltas and in coastal areas. Among the most important cultivations are those in the deltas of the rivers Axios, Loudias, Aliakmonas, as well as Achelous and Sperchios. Rice cultivation in the Thessaloniki plains started experimentally in the area of Halastra in 1949. Around 10,000 hectares of paddy fields stretch across the Axios Loudias Aliakmonas Delta National Park, an area of outstanding natural beauty, covering almost a third of the park itself. Today, Thessaloniki Plain produces around 55% of Greek European rice, with a total output of 30,200 hectares, thus making it particularly important for the local and national economy. Around the middle of spring, the fields of the plain flood with water, thus turning into vast paddy fields, creating quite a special place, complementing the picture of a natural wetland. The paddy fields are important for the fauna of the region, since they function as artificial seasonal wetlands and harmonize with the natural ecosystem. In May, at the height of the bird's reproductive period, the rice fields flood with water to receive the rice seeds. The flooded fields are replete with small invertebrate organisms and amphibians. These in turn attract little egrets, black-crowned night herons, glossy ibises, blackcaps, gulls and other birds, searching for food for themselves and their hungry broods. Unlike other grasses, the cultivation of European rice thrives under extremely wet conditions and mild temperatures. The somewhat salty soil and warm climate are thought to be ideal for achieving high yields and high-quality produce. Also, because of the microclimate, north winds, such as the local Vadaris, contribute to the better drying of the seeds in the fields and the avoidance of the development of fungi harmful to the rice seeds. Many producers in Greece implement precision agriculture in the cultivation of European rice, targeting further improvements in production, quality and yield. Geographic information systems gather, manage and process data at precise geographical locations, thus allowing each producer to monitor their production. At harvest time, yield monitoring systems enable producers to record and measure the yield on a field-by-field basis. Crop and soil sensors are placed in the fields to gather information, and through remote sensing, producers keep updated on the condition of their crops. Quality assurance of the final product starts from the safeguarding of quality seed. Greece produces seeds of different varieties, namely short grain and long grain. The most important task undertaken before cultivation is the leveling of the surface. Paddy fields are normally given no slope or a very slight slope, around 1/100th per 100 meters of field. Over the last 15 years, leveling has been carried out by a grader directed by laser beams to achieve minimal deviation discrepancy in altitudinal differences for each cultivation. Following this, the fertilizer is checked. At this stage, soil and leaf analysis are performed, as well as an analysis of the residual quantities of nitrogen, phosphor and potassium. And finally, the conductivity of pH and organic matter are determined. Following application of the fertilizer, the field is flooded and the seeds are sown in the water by a fertilizer spreader. Sowing is usually carried out in the first 15 days of May, when the water temperature is 12 degrees Celsius. Adequate irrigation throughout the duration of cultivation is achieved through checking the water with pumps, tanks, ditches and streams. The needs of the rice plants in the water vary according to their stage of development. The critical phases, where they seek a continual supply of water, are during germination and periods of growth, flowering and grain formation. Roughly 3 months after being planted, the plants reach their full growth. The grains begin to mature and the water starts to recede from the fields. As the fields dry out, the grains further mature and harvesting begins. In Greece, farmers employ combine harvesters to harvest and hull the chaff from the rice stem. The grains of rice are moved to the appropriate drying and storage facilities, silos, where with the help of heated air, the humidity of the grains is maintained at 18 to 22%. After drying, the rice grains, now called raw rice, is ready for processing. During the first cleaning stage, the raw rice passes through various sieves to remove all foreign bodies, stones and dust. After that, the seeds go into a hulling machine, which removes the husk from the kernel. The unhulled grains at this stage are in fact what we call brown rice. Together with the vitamins and the inorganic salts, the bran layers also contain oil, which makes the brown rice more sensitive than whitened rice. Brown rice passes through 2 more hulling machines, which remove through grinding all the outer layers of the bran from the grains. The light-colored grain is cooled and polished mechanically to take on the familiar shine. Quite often, polished white rice is afterwards coated in glucose to add to its shine. In the case of yellow rice, that is parboiled, prior to the milling, the rice is steamed under pressure, so that all the vitamins and minerals are moved from the bran layers to the kernel. With this stage complete, the rice is dried and milled. Depending on the orders, European rice is put into bags of small, medium and large sizes. Some of the rice is placed on the Greek market, while the rest is exported to the Middle East, the Balkans and Europe. All stages in the processing of European rice in Greece are performed by mechanical means. Equipped with a full ensemble of cutting-edge machinery and with experienced and specialized personnel, we market the highest quality products. On the packaging, the country of origin is displayed, while efforts are underway to increase consumer trust by having the name of the producer and the location of the field marked on the packaging. European rice is a particularly nutritious food. It is rich in vitamins and B complex, potassium, phosphor, iron, magnesium, and selenium. It contains complex carbohydrates, proteins and plant fibers, a small quantity of fats, no cholesterol and very little sodium. European rice appears on the base of the Mediterranean diet food pyramid. It does not contain gluten and can be readily consumed by those with gluten intolerance. It is precisely because it is easily digested by the human organism that it is found in children's meals from a tender age. European rice is a safe product, since production practices are based on environmentally friendly principles, which strive to reduce hazards. Plant protection products are approved by European authorities, and fertilizers are applied at the appropriate time using suitable products with the most up-to-date equipment. Rice is a part of the culture and tradition for many civilizations. However, as regards the taste, color, and variety of rice consumed, each person has their preferences. There are now hundreds of recipes based on rice, and many countries have created their own, such as sushi, fried rice, paella, stuffed peppers and tomatoes with rice, various risottos with truffles, saffron, vegetables or cheeses. Let your imagination run wild and create traditional and gourmet dishes with a rice base. Simple in its cooking, especially nutritious and healthy, rice harmoniously binds most combinations. Use it on its own, in cool rice salads, tasty soups, classical Greek dishes with meat, chicken or fish. As a starter, main dish or dessert, rice is sure to have a place at the daily table.